Hello, my name is Mario Rodriguez and welcome to Effective Instructional Strategies for English Learners. Before we get started, if just to set a little bit of ground rules, if you feel the need that you need to go to the restroom, if you could please just step out this door here, and to the left you'll find the female restrooms and to the right you'll find the male restrooms. But please, we ask you to exit and enter as quietly as you possibly can. Also, if you feel the need that you need to take a call or make a phone call, you can as well. Just make sure that you step out in the hallway so it doesn't disrupt this meeting. Before we begin, let's all make sure when we're at our tables that we all have some chart paper, markers, large index cards, Post-its, and if you could please make sure that you're in a group of 4 at each table. So if you find yourself at a table with 5 or a table with 3, if you could please, one of you get up and go to that table to 3 so we can have an even 4 is the way we're going to be working it for today. So what I'm going to ask everyone to do is please read these content objectives silently. I'll give you 30 seconds or a minute. Okay, now within your groups, if one of y'all could share with the group other ways to engage students in thinking about the objectives. The objectives being participants will identify and summarize characteristics of effective language objectives and demonstrate knowledge through group discussion and presentations. Participants will develop a repertoire of impactful instructional techniques through reading, participating in collaborative discussions, and writing personal responses. So you can please discuss amongst yourselves other ways we can engage students' thinking in the objectives. Some ways that we can engage students. Students pair discuss what they think they learn based on the written objectives. Students focus on the verbs in the objectives to determine what they'll be doing and learning. Students select an objective that is meaningful or important for that day. Students decide which objectives will be most challenging. All of these would have been good answers on which are ways to keep students engaged. Now I'm going to give everybody another 10-15 seconds to read these objectives silently. Okay, now if each one of you could, if we could find one person on the table and rephrase this or reword it to everyone else on your table what these mean to you. The participants will discuss in the 4 categories of language objectives and collaboratively represent essential information about each category. Participants will explain the importance of understanding the 4 categories of language objectives on an exit ticket. So if you could please just share with your group in your own words, would rephrase this. All right, before we continue, we're going to do a little bit of an icebreaker. We're going to play the That's Me, That's Us. So I'm going to be reading off a list of things, which is something we could do to also engage the students and grab their attention. Who has jumped out of a perfectly good airplane while in the air? Who has a tattoo? And remember, you can change all these questions if you like, because we would hope our kids don't have tattoos. Who has been shark cage diving? Who has visited a national park? Who has visited all 50 states? Who has been to the Vatican? Who has danced the chicken dance? Anybody want to dance the chicken dance? And once you're done dancing it, you can stay standing. Who has visited another country? Who has hiked the Grand Canyon? Who has taught in another state? And who has attended college at Texas Tech? Thank you very much for everybody participating. If you could please find your seats again. And remember, it's very important that we remain in our groups of four or in our tables so we can continue this staff development. I want everybody to please read the next question. What is difficult about writing a language objective? I'm going to give everybody about 15-20 seconds so you can give some thought into that. And when you're done thinking about it, if you could please write it on your Post-it. Alrighty, now when everybody hold up your Post-it, and when you're done, I want everybody to grab that Post-it. I want you to ball it up and throw it at the center of the table. Alright, once they're all done, I want the youngest person at each table to please stand up. And I would like for you to reach into the center and grab just one Post-it, one little wad, and read it out to your table. Now, once they're done, I want the person to their left to read out, to grab a Post-it and read it out to the group. I'll give you 20 seconds, 30 seconds to complete this. Good job. Thank you everybody for participating. 3-part content objective, cognitive verb, we will identify. The content objective has 3 key components. The cognitive verb identifies the level of cognition needed for the learning goal. In today's lesson, we are simply identifying a variety of teaching techniques you will find useful. Later on, you will apply these teaching techniques, and that is a different level of cognition. After you apply the techniques, you might reflect and evaluate on how the lesson fared. That is a deeper level of cognition. Cognitive verb, we will identify. We will identify various teaching techniques that can be applied in the classroom. Be sure to keep the key academic vocabulary of the students' expectations intact. It is critical when developing academic language the students will see on the related state and district assessments. Product or proving behavior. We will identify various teaching techniques that can be applied in the classroom and share ideas using oral presentations and group-generated posters. The third component is the product. The product should be aligned to the student's expectations. It should be purposeful and meaningful as well. Keep in mind that as well as the product may not always be tangible product, the desired outcome could be completion of certain process. This is where authentic assessment is important. We should be flexible and confident with other forms of assessments that will provide us with better evidence or information about each student's learning. Three-part language objective. Action verb, appropriate level, descriptive, content, product, or proving behavior. Just as the content objective has three parts, the language objective does as well. Content objectives are what students need to learn about the content topic. On the content topic, we used to say content objectives are what and language objectives are how. Think of language objectives as the how tends to result in language objectives becoming activities instead of measurable outcomes. Language objectives are what to. They represent what students need to learn about English in order to learn, share, or apply new information, demonstrate knowledge, perform academic tasks. All right, if we can we're gonna take a little 2-minute break so we can get a drink of water. We'll give you 2 minutes for a little break.